section 5-5, page 289, numbers 1 through 30. All right, now listen, Gavin sometimes gets mad at me because I tell him he's got to write out all the work. Same thing with Bradley. When a lot of it might be what? Mental math.
Yeah. Yes.
Again, you're not arguing with me today about that. All right? You're not arguing with me because I need you to understand how to solve these proportions.
Okay.
All right? Now, some of them we are going to do mental math because I do think it's extremely important in order to do that. But as I was kind of joking around, go ahead, you're fine. As I was kidding around with Mr. Diesel, all right, when I say how you solve a proportion, you say cross, multiply, and divide. That's what I need for you to say. All right, without hesitating. All right, cross, multiply, and divide. However, we are looking at question number 1. Everybody got their paper headed properly, correct? Now, listen, I want everybody to write the example down. And as we get to the end of the page, I'll say you don't have to write the example down. All right, you can just solve the proportion. But right now, I want you to be able to see what you're doing. All right? Now, I would expect everybody in here to be able to tell me that the denominator with the x is what? Everybody, if you didn't know that was 60, you're way behind. Now, how did I know that was 60? Because you're just making a quick observation. I multiply the numerator by what? And then I can multiply the denominator by the same thing. In order to have equal fractions, you have to multiply the top and bottom by the same number. So again, I'm seeing what we got down here. All right, I want what I did up on the board on your paper. And then at some point, you're supposed to write x equals 60. Now, again, I am just simply saying, on some of your papers, I don't see times 6. All right? And again, I'm going to turn you loose in a few minutes and say, just do it however you want. But again, the most important thing to get better at math is to understand numbers better. All right? And I personally think it helps to do mental math. I want you to do the quick way. I want you to do the lazy way. All right? Because that means you understand numbers. If you don't understand numbers, you need to stop and ask me. All right? Now, some of the numbers are easy to do, and some of the numbers are not easy to do. So, for example, in this problem on number 2, that's not an easy one to do. Everybody hear me? Plus 4 times what is 5? A lot of people don't know that 4 times 1.25 is 5. A lot of people don't know that. Some people do, some people don't. Why don't I expect you to say that? I am expecting you to say, well, this one's a little bit harder because I don't see a relationship between 4 and 5. So now, Mr. Diesel, what do I do? How do I solve a proportion? Cross, multiply, and then divide. So here's what I want everybody to do. Write the proportion. Now, on your paper, you're going to write next 4p equals 35. Is anybody uncertain about how I got 4p? Cross multiply. Now let's say you don't understand what I'm saying. Here is the 4 and here is the p. Do you see that, Bradley? How do you think I got 4p? Multiply that together. How do you think I got the 35? 5 times 7. So even if you don't know, what I'm trying to teach you right now is how to make some observations. Make some observations. Don't be afraid to be wrong. Your observation can be wrong. Or but at least you got to look at those numbers and say, how in the heck did he get 35? Oh, there's a 7 and a 5, so he must have multiplied 5 times 7. How did I get 4p? Well, there's a 4 and a p. The only way I got that is to multiply 4 times p. Is everybody with me? Now, after I cross multiply, I do what? Divide. So, p is equal to 35 divided by 4. Now, if you're using a calculator, of course, you would say 8.75. All right? Now, again, I really wish you would get in the habit of bringing your own calculators. All right? But Do you agree? 35/4. When you become more advanced, you start leaving them as what? Fractions and not decimals. Does everybody hear me? So I think your answer would be best if you left it as what? 35/4. All right, now that's only question number 2. So if you're still kind of like going, I'm not 100% yet, then we're going to do a couple more, and then you will be 100%. But
So I have a question. Let's say on a test.
no, we're not talking about the test. All right, I don't care if you put the decimal or the fraction. What?
So you put the second number on the top and the whatever.
Cross multiply and divide. Let me do a couple more, and then it'll get in your head, I promise you. What?
So I have a question.
Come on,
Some
quick.
of them here, like you times like to get the say P's in the lead to get P, like say you're trying to get never mind.
Thank you. I promise you. Just let's do a couple. You're brilliant. You'll be able to pick it up. All right. Sometimes in math, I try to tell you guys. That's why I was fussing earlier. You got to let me do 10 problems before you go, okay, I see the pattern. I promise you. All right. It's very simple. Very simple. If you thought yesterday was simple, today is just as simple. You just got to let me show you one extra step. All right. So number 3. All right, I don't see a relationship between 12.3 and 75, so I'm going to cross multiply. So the number and the letter go together. So I want everybody to write down 75m is equal to. Now, when we multiply by 100, what does that mean to move to the decimal place?
Add two zeros. No, 3.
No. What do you do to the decimal when you multiply by 100? Move it, how many?
2.
You move it 2 places. Now, you're right. Listen, sometimes you do add 2 zeros, right? Well, because there's a decimal, you got to move the decimal. You hear me, right? So I move the decimal 2 places to the right, and what do I get? 1,230. You agree with that? Now, again, I need you to say, wow, he just multiplied by 100. Refreshing my memory, move the decimal to the right 2 spots. Those are the things that make you good at math. If you don't know that, you can speak up and say, man, I don't know what you just did there. Thomas, you in the game? What, you good?
So we did 12.3 times.
Try that.
I know. I was just wondering.
No, Gavin doesn't understand what I'm saying. Look, if you didn't know how I got 1,230 and you saw 112.3, what would we probably do? That's all I'm trying to tell you, Gavin. Right? Don't let me just continue to tell you how to do it. This is what I'm trying. I'm fussing at some people who are pretty good at math but can be a lot better. Because if I see M and 75, how did I get 75M? I just did what? Multiplied them together. That's what I was trying to tell Jack. That's some other people. Just multiplying them together. And if you don't know that, just assume you're right. Because what other possibility is there? No other possibility. So your observation had to be correct. After we cross multiply, we divide. So now you should have your calculator out, unless you want to do 1230 divided by 75. So take out your calculator. Everybody's got their own calculator today. I'm just sure of that. Why is everybody going to my desk to get a calculator? Guys, bring your own calculators. That's part of being a great student. If your calculator doesn't work, tell your parents to stop by CVS and pick you up a calculator. You need one. How are you going to do your work tonight? Hopefully with a calculator. So when I divide, what do I get?
16.4.
Somebody said 16.4, but that was Jack, so we need to check his work. 1230 divided by 75. Does anybody agree with that?
I got 16.
All right, so we know it's right because he got it. All right, everybody happy?
Do you have to make it in decimal form?
No, it's okay to leave it in decimal form because the answer's in what? Decimal. You understand? The question's in decimals. Do you hear me? So it's okay. Is that good? Okay, let's look at number 4. Now, Thomas, what would be the equation when I cross multiply? Or we would say 3t. We just don't say t3. You with me? The number comes first. Not that I would mark it wrong if you wrote that. I wouldn't. So now tell me what's next. Am I cross multiplying here? So what did I multiply? 3 times t. Come on, Thomas. You got to be quick. And now what am I multiplying, Thomas? Yes, tell me what that is, quickly. You have a calculator. Tell me what it is. Okay, now after that, what do I do? Cross multiply, then yes, sir. 63 divided by 3. Good job. So t is equal to 21. Again, I don't think that's hard. What?
Sometimes, like, when I looked at that, I just realized it was going to be 1 half. Sometimes, like, if you just see it right away, like, is it always gonna
No. This is brilliant. This is what I'm saying. Listen, guys. That's what I want everybody to be. I want everybody to say, look right here, guys. And this is what I was going to say. All right, he beat me to the punch. That fraction is 1 half. Stop and pay attention. So everybody agree, 1.5 over 3 is 1 half. Now, some of you are looking like I have no idea what you're talking about. Does everybody understand 1.5 over 3 is the same as 1 half? Do not be afraid to say, look, man, I am so sorry. I just don't see that. It's embarrassing to sit and not tell me you don't see it. Because if I show it to you, then it's good forever. So he said something brilliant. That's a half. So t has to be what? 21. Because that's half of 42. Does everybody hear me? So 1.5 is half of 3. So this must be half of 42. That's excellent. That's exactly it. Right? That's exactly it. That's what I want everybody to be able to see. And if you can't see that, don't sit there. Because when you take the ERBs, no one's going to sit there with you. You got to think on your own. That's hard. What? What's 1.5 times 42? Did you do that? You have it now? Come on, man. All right. Let's go. No. Listen to me. A stack of $2,451 bills weighs 5 pounds. So, 2,450 $1 bills weighs 5 pounds. Is everybody with me? We want to know if my stack is 1,470. So where does that go, on the top or the bottom? The top, because that's how many there are. So I put 1,470 on the top, and then X would go on the bottom. What's the matter?
Did you put the 1?
Where did I put the what?
Why did you put the 1?
Because it's a ratio. Because you're comparing. Listen to me. That's a very good question. Very good. And one of my kids yesterday, when I was helping them, said, I would never see that. They didn't understand why I would even consider writing that as a fraction. I'm writing as a fraction because it's comparing things. That's what I tried to tell her. 2,450 has 5 pounds. You with me? So that's the comparison. That's the ratio. Now, the bottom is the weight and the top is how many. So when they give you the other one, the 1470 is how many there are. That's why it went on the top. You hear me now, right? Very important question. Good job. If you don't know something, don't sit. Put your hand up. All right, now when I cross multiply, right, Mr. Diesel? Cross multiply. We multiply the number and the variable together. When you multiply the number and the variable together, you just put 2450x. 2450x is equal to, now what's 1470 times 5? I'm listening.
1470 times 5 equals
7,350.
Yeah.
Everybody happy with that?
Yeah.
And then after we cross multiply, we what? Divide. So if I divide by 2450, now I'm just doing the work up here. You should know, I don't care about if you put that divide sign there. Is everybody with me? I'm expecting you to be able to say 7,350 divided by 2450 on your calculator. Is 3 pounds, right? And so your answer is 3 pounds. Carly, you with me on that now? That makes sense? Thomas, you still with me? Layton, no problems? Okay, so now that I've done a good job, you should be able to do the rest of it. Okay? So now what I want to do here is,
This one's like more than it's 1 4, right? 136.
how about,
What am I saying right now? It's
tell me, just relax, come on. Tell me what I'm doing. You can look at this right here. What's 36 divided by what is 4? 36 divided by what? 9. Does everybody see that? So I knew the answer was? No, because look, if I'm going here, guys, I divided by 9, right? So I have to do what? Divide by 9. So the answer is what? 20. Right, now please pay attention. I'm going to show you something else. That's just one technique. Everybody hear me? That's one technique. Now another technique. Stop. I'm going to erase and just continue to pay attention. Most people don't, but I do. 36 times 5 is what? 180. So that's how my brain looked at it. I already knew 36 times 5 was 180. So 4 times 5 is what? Is 20. If you can see a relationship, like he said, you can do it up and down or you can do it side to side. But you have to be careful. All right, you have to be careful. Now, everybody on their calculator, do this though. And you have to pay attention to what I'm saying. Everybody on their calculator, what's the rule? Cross multiply and divide. So you multiply the two numbers together. No, multiply 4 times 180 and then divide it by 36. And guess what the answer is? 20. Does everybody see what we're doing? There's multiple ways of solving proportions. You have to just figure out how you like to do it, right? Sometimes you can see a relationship, sometimes you can't. Does everybody see what we just did there? What?
So you know how you did the 480 divide by 4 times 180
Every one of them that can be done that way. It'll be easy. But I would prefer you look here, right? Everybody look at number 7. So I don't care about writing the proportion. I care about writing the equation. So you would say for this one, well, can anybody tell me what the answer here is?
144.
144.
I did the way you just said that. So multiply 12 times 84.
How easy is that?
That's what I did.
Real easy. But you're not allowed to just write that answer. I want you to write down on your paper 7h is equal to, now what's 84 times 12? 1008.
Yeah.
And then underneath that, you write h is equal to 144. Is everybody happy with that?
Oh, I've been doing the thing. I'm just doing equal mark.
Now, here's how I want you to write it.
Can I start that now?
Yes. So for number 8, here we go. Layton, what would be the equation I want you to write down for number 8?
Number 8. So would you do 52 times 3
Yep.
divided by 24?
But first you have to write an equation, though.
Oh yeah, would it be so would it be 24R?
Equals, good.
24R. Yeah, and then would we do 52 times?
That's right. 52 times 3, which is, no, 3 times 52.
Yeah, 156.
Yep. And now what?
Divided by 24.
And now my answer is,
I got 6.5.
I'm happy with you.
I got
6.5.
6.5. Yep.
All right, Carly, you're up with number 9, kiddo. I want you to write the equation for me, please. Good. Then what? And so now what? Everybody pretty happy with that?
Yeah.
What? Oh yeah. Let's just do a couple more together.
Mr. Schnell,
I want Aiden to do number 10.
for homework tonight, are we allowed to just,
I want you to write the equation.
so same way we did it?
Yeah, I want you to write the equation.
So you write 15x equals, you do 45, 45 times 3, which equals 135. And you write x at the bottom, and you divide that by 3.
Divided by what? Oh, come on.
3.
What is your equation?
I got 15.
X, right?
Oh,
So what am I dividing by?
15.
Come on now, Aiden. Make sure you get that. You hear me? All right.
I got 0.1.
No, because you divided 15 by 135 instead of 135 by 15. You and me? Now, the reason why I'm showing you that is because from the equation, you see that, right?
Yeah, I got 9.
Okay, you're up. Tell me.
Okay, so you would do 96, which is 576. So 16 equals 500, and then you divide that by 16. Okay? Oh, it equals t equals 57.
What?
Yeah, it's 36.
Do 576 divided by 16.
I got 7.
Did you hit divide? Ava, go.
Okay, so it's
Write the equation.
okay, 5s equals 24, and then 24 divided by 5 is 4.5.
Perfect. Carly, next. What am I doing? Now look, see how, guys, I'm just saying, look what I did. I did all that work. I'm not doing more work than you. I don't want just an answer now. Everybody hear me? All right, I don't care about writing the original problem. All right, now by far, the most important questions are 14 and 15. By far. You've got to be able to see it's just a proportion. Then you set it up. Then you cross, multiply, divide.
What's your strat?
What?
About the work one, so you said we didn't have to write the original problem. So we don't have to write like the number. Like, just
Write
have
the
to write what we've
equation.
been doing the
Write
past,
the
like, just
equation.
like, for example, not 14 over n and stuff like that.
No, I don't care about that.
Oh,
Now listen, I said originally yes. You see, that's what I'm saying. Somebody goes, it was important to write the original problem so you could see what you're doing. Once everybody, I was convinced everybody was, I said, okay, now I just cross multiply. Okay, so we're in cross multiplying mode. All right. No. Listen, everybody. Euro coins come in 8 denominations. One denomination is the 1 euro coin, which is worth 100 cents. So right now, I want you to write this down. 1 euro is worth 100 cents. Everybody with me? So I have what now? I have 10 euro coins is 21.25 millimeters tall. So I'm going to write that down also. 10 euros is the same as, okay, I'm sorry. Thank you. 10 euros is the same as 21.25 millimeters. Is everybody okay with that? That's not a very good 21.25. Everybody good with that? How tall would a stack of 45? Well, this really right here, did this really make any sense right here? Did I use that at all? It's kind of a distraction. Is everybody with me? So where would 45 euro coins go, on the top or bottom? On the top. So you would say 45, and then I would put a what on the bottom?
Number.
X or A or B, whatever letter you want to choose. Yes, most people use their own letter in their own name. So now when I cross multiply, now listen to me, I'm highlighting something here. This E was just to tell you what that was. This MM is what that is. Does everybody agree? So we're not putting 10EX down or something like that, right? So the equation would be what? 10x is equal to,
45 times 21.
which is,
I got it.
I'm listening.
956.25.
Anybody else agree with that?
56.25.
I got 95.
Okay, so now the final is to do what? Divide by 10. Now really, you don't need to divide by 10 with a calculator because you know you're just going to move the decimal to the left one. Everybody with me?
Yes.
So your answer would be x equals 95.625 millimeters. Is everybody happy with that explanation? All right, so I was confused at first because they said a euro and a cent, but that had nothing to do with it. Does everybody agree? Because they're talking about stacks. All right, now let's talk about number 15. It says, there are 18.5 ounces of soup in a can. This is equivalent to 524 grams. So what is equivalent? 18.5 ounces is to 524 grams. Very good. Everybody with me on this? I'm trying to figure out that's not correct. I made a mistake. I was thinking of in the can, right? So do we know how many grams is in the can? No. So this actually, that's what I'm saying. You have to be careful. So you can see that is unknown grams. Do you agree? Because it says, oh, no, that was right. Man, I can't read. Yeah, no, stop. Stop and listen. Let me start over. All right? I'm going to click this out. Just stop and pay attention. All right? Pay attention. Here we go. I thought they... Does everybody understand? Sorry. Look at, do you see now 18.5 ounces is the same as 524 grams? Do you agree with that? Now read the first sentence now. Come on, I know I messed you up, so I want you to read carefully, and I don't want you to just say yes.
Yeah.
You got it? All right, that's true. All right, then it says that the person only has what? 8 ounces. You with me? So where does 8 ounces go?
On the top.
On the top, yes.
And X goes on the
And X goes on the bottom because I'm trying to figure out how many grams is in what? 8 ounces. Does everybody hear me on that? All right. So again, I don't like the way they kind of set that up too well. So again, does everybody understand what I'm saying? You have to be careful. Even, look, I made a mistake on that. So I'm trying to show you. It's okay, but that's why you have to read carefully. You understand me? Carly? Boys? Any questions? All right. So now we got to cross multiply this. So when I cross multiply this now, we're going to have what?
You get
4,192 like that.
Oh, wait. Oh, yeah.
And then I have to do what? So somebody tell me. Let's wait for Chloe. Hold on.
I got 226 and 5.
Is that right? 226 point what?
595. No.
594. 594.
So we would just round. I'm not sure what they said.
It said round.
Round to the nearest whole gram. So we would just say it's about what? 227, right? 227 grams. All right, is everybody happy with that explanation? Right? Okay, so now listen to me, guys. I don't usually give you homework or that much. Listen, all I'm asking you to do is, this is super important, so you have to do 16 through 30. All right, that's not going to take you that long. All you have to do is do the cross multiply. You don't have to write the problem down. Does everybody hear me?
Thanks,
All right.
Why is it so high, Yuri?
Because you're talking.